a series of visions when I was younger. And after each one ended, the same thought would be stuck in my head.
What did you see?
I saw a nun. Word of my visions reached the church, and I was asked to accompany a priest to an abbey in Romania.
The abbey has a long history.
Valak.
Not all good.
What?
Shouldn't him down. Callahan's here.
Hello?
How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video, and this is another random... I don't know if I can actually call it random. More so another episode, the audio-esque video podcast of me reviewing different movies and whatnot. And I'm still on this Conjuring fix. Last time we talked about Annabelle Creation and how much that movie fudging sucked. And, well, I wanted to continue with this little thing that I've been doing and talk about The Nun, because that technically is the next movie that came out from all of the films. Next one is Curse of La Llorona, so that should be interesting, and that's actually a movie I never even watched before, just like the Annabelle movies. But anyways, so The Nun, released in 2018. It was directed by Corinne Hardy, written by Gary Dauberman and James Wan, starring, and I'm gonna fudge this up, Demian Bichir, with Taissa Farmiga and Jonas Blaquet. If I said those names wrong, I do apologize. So, anyway, going back to it. Yeah, no, this is another type of prequel thing involving one of the entities from the Conjuring films. This is more focusing on the Nun. Now, I want to say this right off the bat. One thing that kind of, like, I was kind of curious about is doing a quick Google search, I should say. And don't take what I say to heart. Like I said, I just did a quick Google search. So I asked the obvious question: did Lorraine Warren actually see a nun in real life? Because as you guys know, at least for those who've watched my previous audio-esque video podcasts, I gripe at the fact that, or gripe on just the whole thing that the possessed doll wasn't a porcelain doll, but a Raggedy Ann. I know some people will think that's a minor mute point, but for me, there's so much you could have done with the Raggedy Ann, and it just pisses me off. Anyway, but did Lorraine actually see a nun figure? And just to kind of go over that answer, yes. Apparently, Lorraine did claim to have encountered a spectral nun figure, both as a dark, swirling vortex at home and during an investigation at England's haunted Burley Rectory, which inspired the demonic nun created for The Conjuring. Though the movie's entity is fictionalized, obviously, for horror, according to Phobos and Decider. So, yeah. So they did encounter a nun figure in some capacity, but it is nothing like the one that we come across for the films. Now, I'm just going to say this, because I'm going to, right off the bat, I'm just going to say, this demon is a vindictive bitch. Because this thing, you know, just like the Annabelle doll, where this thing just won't leave, it finds a way to come back. And we got a second movie, too, to talk about, too, as well. So, I guess to start us off, this goes over where the nun demon or Valak comes from, where it originated, how did it surface into our plane of existence. The setting is based in a I'm forgetting the word, like a church area, a sanctuary. I'm just gonna say sanctuary that was run by a bunch of nuns that knew of the possible threat that Valak was, and unfortunately, one by one, each and every one of them got killed. And people are notified by it when a local guy in the town next to or near their sanctuary is bringing up supplies and finds a dead body. This gets the church involved, which they try to figure out what's going on. The power of Christ's blood is involved in this as well. And in a sense, the demon itself becomes or possesses an individual that Ed and Lorraine eventually come across. Plain and simple, that's the story. I will say this movie really, really, really freaking relies on jump scares. And unfortunately, I've noticed that with a lot of, like, movies in, like, before 2020, really rely, and actually I think current day now, but anyways, a lot of these movies do rely on just the jump scare, like, sudden sound effect to get people startled, which I'm going to say this, as creepy as this movie is in some settings, which I will say with lighting and everything, it looks really, really damn good. But what pisses me off about this film is the fact that it really, 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 really relies on the fucking jump scares. There are so many times where something's happening, all of a sudden you see the figure. I'm like, okay, and I want to point out too that they're not even scary; they're obvious. There's been times where, like, oh, okay, I see the figure, it's gonna come up behind him, and then all of a sudden, boom, loud noise, characters behind them, the demon, attacks the person, just sudden loud noise, sudden freaking, slurry of music. It's so fucking predictable. I feel like with this particular film, if they went more for psychological horror, instead of like just an in your face, like just every 5 seconds a jump scare, it probably would have been a lot better. Like, you can have the occasional jump scare, but not every 5 seconds, as they were doing for this film. Especially when things start ramping up. I personally think that, I wish that, like, there was a time, like, and I wish this for, current horror as well. It'd be nice if there was a little bit more subtlety. Like, you kind of pace yourself on the scary stuff. And if anything, hell, for all we know, for the most part, we just set it up that it's all in their heads. Like, it would have made way more sense, or at least it would make things way more scary, to, like, just to see if whether or not the demon was actually there. Kind of play with the idea that, hey, maybe the demon isn't here. Maybe we're just imagining it. I mean, hell, we're in this dark, what's supposed to be a holy sanctuary that's now being overrun by this demon. Why? It's like, there's a good chance we're probably going to be seeing some things that shouldn't be there. And then towards the end, we get the plot twist of, oh yeah, no, the demon is actually real. I feel like there's some more that could have been thought of. But as I mentioned, and you know what, I'm going to say this too, because I think there will be a point where I may end up talking about the Insidious films, also by James Wan. I think most of them, anyway. But either way, because those also rely on the jump scares. So, this movie, like I said, I feel like if they were to change it a little bit, again, no jump scares every 5 seconds, just kind of easing people in a sense, like playing with the idea that the demon may or may not be actually real or exist, and then leaving the reveal of the demon towards the very end would have made way more sense. But that's just me. And I'll just say this too, because the design for the demon, for the demon itself as the nun, I mean, dude, it is a really creepy freaking design. Especially when you have the sense of, what's supposed to be, something that is holy, something that is pure, an individual who is a woman of God, a nun, one of the purest symbols of, the Christian belief, used as a moniker for a demon. I mean, come on, that is such a freaking good hook. But it doesn't work the way it should. So, anyway. If I were to give this... You know what? Because I know last time I gave Annabelle Creation a burn and piss on the ashes. Despite... I'll say this. Despite some of my gripes about the jump scares, I actually somewhat decently liked this movie. I feel like there were some things that could have been improved on, and I would have really appreciated it. But I think the biggest thing is, just some of the missteps. As I mentioned, just too many jump scares, and it would have been way better if it would sort of kind of ease you in to the real horror. Be subtle, not just immediately go, oh, demons exist, jump scare. So anyway, I think I'm gonna give this a rent it. I don't want to give this a burn it. I think that it's a watch. I would say, like, if you want to watch it once, watch it once. I personally, again, there are things that I do like about this movie. The design of the nun, the freaking lighting, and just the environment is so freaking creepy. So, anyways, yeah, rent it. That's what I have to say about this film. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And you know what, I'm gonna say this: if you have anything you'd like to add, leave in the comments. Those that end up wanting to comment, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's all in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I'll see you guys next video.